Hello, Sarah of SEK Handmade here. I am excited to be here with you today. Things are constantly evolving. This is my first YouTube live that I'm doing with family home, so we'll see how it goes. My kids are old enough to be respectful, but it throws the dog off having the extra sounds and stuff in. So if there are some extra sounds, I apologize. I have my headset on to hopefully mitigate as many of those extra sounds as possible. So hopefully that helps a little bit. I am so excited to be here with you today to talk about what should you do instead of setting goals at the end of the year. If you have not watched my live from last week, I'll link it in the description below. I shared with you 3 reasons why you shouldn't set goals at the end of the year. And this is all based on my personal experience of one, being real tired at the end of the year. I'm telling you, I'm worn out. But also in that state of mind, not really setting quality goals. And so if you haven't watched that video, I highly recommend it. So today I'm going to tell you, if you're like me, who has decided I'm not going to set goals, but also is not great at just sitting down and relaxing, I'm going to share with you some things that I am doing to prepare for next year that aren't setting goals. They're very simple. They're very low energy, not a lot of decision making involved in these, but you can still feel like you're making progress without having to really commit to concrete goals or give the brain power to be super intentional about goals. So none of these are going to be goal setting, but you can still feel like you're making progress. I said it last week and I want to say it again. Society and marketing will tell you differently. I'm not even kidding, the day after Christmas saw the first hurry, set your goals. If you want to do these 10 things next year. And I'm like, 10? I am overwhelmed by your proposal of my goals. But if you want to do these 10 things next year and be an amazing person, and they're putting a lot of the implication being that if I don't set these goals or do these things, then I'm not as good of a person, or I'm not going to be as healthy. Pressure, buy my planner. That kind of pressure is one of the reasons I don't set goals. So we're in full swing of pressure to make goal setting the thing. But here's the reality. There is nothing magic about January 1st. You are not going to magically be more well-rested, magically be in a better mental place, magically have the enthusiasm that you have not had for the last 10 years. That's not like you wake up on January 1st and bing, magic. That goal you set is going to be easy this time or perfect or, so you don't have to start on January 1st. You can start whenever you're ready to take the time to set well thought out and intentional goals for yourself. So do not feel the pressure of January 1st. There is no deadline to point yourself in the direction you want to go for the year. Man, if you're real tired, if you're someone who works in retail, this is a tough time of year. If you're somebody who gifted your entire family a handmade item, you may not want to look at yarn for a while, or you may want to take time to do something really slow and just for yourself. And so there's no need to decide now that you're going to knit 12 sweaters or crochet hats for a family picture or give 8 million things to charity. Take your time. And whenever you're ready to set those goals, I think, and I have experienced that you will set better goals that you're more enthusiastic about and more committed to when you're in the right mindset. So take your time. There's no pressure. But if you, like me, feel like you need to be doing something in the meantime, I have 3 ideas for you of things that you can do to prepare for goal setting that aren't goal setting and that are like real low brain power. So here we go. My first recommendation is to set the stage for next year. You don't need to be have all the things and all the plans, but set the stage. So one of the things that I do is I am untrusting, very untrusting of digital planners. And so each year I get myself my paper planner, which I love. I love the tactile having the planner to write in. I love seeing it in front of me rather than it being on a screen. I love picking a planner in a fun color. But that means that each year, the birthdays and the anniversaries and those sorts of reoccurring things are not auto-programmed in for me. So if you're like me and you like to keep a paper planner, the first thing you can do to set the stage is put important dates into your planner. And even if you use a digital planner, there are certain things that change every year. What days your kids are going to be off of school or grandkids are going to be off of school. What days you might be planning to take a vacation. When are your doctor's appointments and dentist appointments for the year? If you don't have those, maybe give those people a call, set them up and put them in your planner. So set the stage by preparing your planner for the year. This also gives you good perspective on busyness throughout the year. You could think in your brain that's just like spinning ideas. Gosh, I think I will make 15 hats for charity in September. But once you put all of the things into your planner, you realize, whoa, September's a really busy, like a surprisingly busy month. And so maybe that, even if that's a goal you want to have, maybe that goal needs to go into a different month. So setting the stage by putting all of those things, significant dates and birthdays and school events, appointments, vacations, trips, even work trips into your planner can help you be more prepared for goal setting because you can look more honestly at what time you have available at different times of the year. Another great way to set the stage, and I know that I am maybe a little more emotionally tied to this than some people, and that's fine. And but to me, it really helps to set the physical stage around me as well. So this is a great time to tidy up, to put things away, to organize, maybe do a little deep cleaning depending on your energy level. I'm not saying power through and deep clean your entire house. That, to me, that is too great an expectation. But for some people, that might be just perfect. But it might make you feel really good to go through your bin of yarn and organize it a little bit and see what you have. And if you don't have an entire craft space, maybe you have a craft cart. And if you're like me, there's a lot of like tossing things here and there, and especially in the busy season of the holidays and the end of the year, lots of like, oh, I'll just shove it in here now and find it a home later. Um, but really going through and maybe putting all of your hooks and needles in an organized space and putting all of your yarn in an organized space, maybe taking the time to wind some scraps into balls of like nice balls that you can put in a drawer, or like I display some of mine. I'm pointing to my display across the room. Go out and buy a big glass vase. That's a great way to store those little yarn scraps because then you can see all of them. Or buy a pretty bowl that you're going to set on a table somewhere or a shelf somewhere, and wind all those little scraps into cute little balls of yarn. I have a tutorial for how to hand wind balls of yarn. I use this for almost all of my scraps, unless it's a lot of yarn. I wind it into a little ball. I'm trying to see, I don't think I have any here that I can grab, but I'll link the tutorial for that down below if that's something you want to learn how to do. I find it very soothing, and the relief I feel in things being cleaned up and organized clears my brain and my emotional space in a way that's really soothing to me. So that's another way that you can set the stage. Another thing is you might want to find another way to clear your brain. Taking time to go on a walk, spend some time in nature. Friends, I strongly believe fresh air every day. It is important for your health. Unless it is super freezing outside, I try to make the kids go outside every day. I try to get myself and the dog out as many days as I can. And it needs to be something I need to focus on more because that really helps my brain. I mean, honestly, when I'm out in nature, that's when I get some of my best ideas because I'm relaxed and that fresh air is just refreshing. But if there's something else that you can do to really refresh yourself emotionally, whether it's meditation or yoga or anything that makes you feel more calm and more centered, that's awesome. Do that thing to set the stage to help yourself be more prepared to set your goals later on. All right, my second suggestion to prepare and to wrap up the end of the year is instead of looking forward, look back. We often barrel forward, maybe it's just me, but I think I often barrel forward without looking back to the last year with a critical eye. And I don't mean like a nasty critical eye, but like just a real thoughtfulness about what did I do? This is not a business thing. This can be just a life thing. Look back on the projects you made this last year, and maybe that means like physically taking out the things that you made and really looking at them. And then kind of just thinking about like, what projects did I enjoy most? What about those projects did I enjoy? Maybe you'll learn that you thought that you really loved complicated projects. You really liked that intense mental focus of a really intricate project. But when you look back on your projects and you think to yourself, which of these did I enjoy most? You find that actually what you enjoyed most was just a real simple, fast project. And so maybe you take that to plan and think about, later on, what you want to do in the upcoming year. Were you too busy? Did this last year, did you plan too many projects? Did you promise too many things to, I think a lot of us have friends and family who see something and want you to make it for them. Did you tell all the 15 grandkids that you were going to hand make them a stuffed animal for their birthday? And looking back, like that caused a lot of stress instead of enjoyment? Did you overcommit? Did you undercommit and not really have any goals of things to do, and that left you kind of feeling directionless? Some people really enjoy just, whatever comes whenever they come, but other people like to have a goal and a focus. Um, but all of that is learned by looking backwards. So you can do that either just by taking some time to intentionally think about it, or you can be more formal and like really sit down with a journal and list out your projects and write the just some little notes on like, really loved this project, wouldn't ever make this one again. This sweater fit me great. Never finished that guy because I got bored. But taking that look back can help you more honestly plan for the future. Take a minute to add to those journal entries, or just think about like, what was your favorite project? What was your favorite yarn? What was your favorite tool? What things really brought you joy? And once you have a clearer understanding of that, you'll be more ready to move on. But that's not something that needs to be like real strenuous or formal or like must sit down with all my projects and list these 5 things about each project. If that gives you clarity and releases some mental stress, sometimes I'm a list maker. I'm a list maker. Give me a list to check off and it makes me feel good. But if that's not you, it can be real relaxed of going through things and just thinking back. So be honest with yourself and listen to your body. If what you're doing raises anxiety and lessens restfulness, that's not what we're going for right now. We've already had plenty of that this month. My last suggestion of something you can do to prepare without setting goals is to do a brain dump. I cannot shut my brain off. And if I don't get my ideas out and get my thoughts out, they just rattle around in there and make me crazier and crazier. That raises my anxiety, that raises all of the yucky emotions. And so it's very good for me a lot of times to do a brain dump. And I can do this again and again and again. So again, this can be as formal or as informal as you want it to be. And think about, how do you process things? I like to write things down. I like to make a list. I like to even just like jotting little notes here and there. Like a lot of times I'll kind of wake up in the morning and have a bunch of ideas. And so just a place to jot them all down in no formal order, no, like I'm not putting down solid plans in my planner. Though sometimes if you think like, oh, next December, I should remember that I really want to, whatever, you can write a note in your planner. The trick is finding a happy balance between just getting it out, like it doesn't have to be a fully formed idea, and giving yourself enough information that when you're ready to look back on that, you know what you were talking about. Which, I mean, I guess if you don't and it makes you feel better to dump it out and then you come back to it and you're like, I have no idea what I meant by that, then whatever, you let it go. My sister is a verbal processor. She likes to talk things out. So if you're someone who likes to talk things out, writing down a list may not make you feel any better about all the things going on in your head. So find someone and be upfront with them. Say, hey, I've been thinking about these things. I just need somebody to talk to about them. I don't need answers. I don't want to make plans. I just want to like talk some things out. And then get together with that person and just spend, a few minutes, however long it takes or however long they have the patience for to listen, and just get all that stuff out. And I just find that that makes me feel a lot better. So, these are just suggestions. Again, I want to emphasize that the importance here is listening to yourself and doing things that make you feel refreshed and rejuvenated and joyful, and not things that drain you. So if there's one of these things that you think, yes, I would feel a lot better if I did that, then go for it. Give it a try. But even as you try these things, if you start to feel overwhelmed by them, or like you're not doing it right, or getting down on yourself, or you just like finish doing that thing and you're exhausted, then take a break from it. These are not requirements. They're just suggestions. And guys, if you are a better person at resting than I am, and you hear these suggestions and think, Sarah, these are going to get in the way of me sitting on the couch, don't do any of them. These are not a requirement, just suggestions, because I am the type of person who is not great at sitting still. And so I'm going to use these things to prepare me for next year, so that I feel more ready to go without feeling more exhausted. Because the better I care for myself, the sooner I will feel ready to set the goals that I know I eventually want to set. So it's okay to just rest. But if you can't just rest, these are the things I suggest. Thank you so much for joining me. There are links in the description below to all the things I chatted about, to my previous video, to the tutorial on how to wind your own yarn balls. I would love it if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hit the bell for notifications so that you'll know when I post a new video. And if you enjoyed hearing about this, I'd love it if you'd like this video. It helps me better understand what kinds of things you'd like to hear about in the future. If you want to follow me all the places or subscribe to my email list, that's also in the description below. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you are gentle with yourself and care for yourself, and happy crafting.